bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey, eh?
God bless football, Stugotz.
You're in a much better mood, Mikey, today than you were a couple of days ago. I mean, what's going on with you?
Backdoor covers will do that to you. Backdoor covers will do that to you.
The Eagles left the back door wide open for you last night. It was great.
Yes, they did.
Billy, you have any earthly idea what we're talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about gambling.
Yeah. Look at you.
Yeah. What is this, like a butt joke? What are we doing?
No, I was just asking if you knew what the back door meant. That's all. You're not a big gambler. You don't gamble that often, do you?
But if I did.
Yeah, well done, Billy. Yes.
Billy's Bets Big Boards, brought to you by, will be back on Monday. So I will give you 3 more hot things that if I gambled, I would be very high on, maybe if I were in a gambling state.
How'd the first week go for you?
The first week went, some would say 0 for 3 on that. But here's the thing.
The bookies would say that, Billy.
Weather wasn't great. Field conditions. We lost Aaron Rodgers. One of those was over on yards. If he's out on the 4th play of the game, that doesn't really count. So then that's a wash. And then that kind of throws off the rest of everything, because game plans come into play there. That affects the rushing.
Of course.
Some would say, now that your quarterback is out, your running back should get more yards than the other running back, which is what I bet on Dalvin Cook in the Battle of the Cooks. So he should have easily had more yards, but
couple of cooks.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where like team morale is down and then everything kind of just gets thrown off. And then the Bills, and you know how that goes. 4 turnovers for Josh Allen, so they don't cover. So it's a whole thing. But we'll be back. Billy's Bets Big Board brought to you by TBD. We'll be back on Monday with 3 more things that I may be hot on if I were in a gambling state.
I might be fading you. Just say it. Just
wow.
For my wallet. I just
wait, but Mikey, I like the idea of Billy losing a bet and then pleading his case and seeing if the bookie will reverse it, or Billy being the guy where if you lose a bet, you plead your case to Billy and he decides if you win or lose said bet. I love that idea.
To be clear, I'm not in a gambling state, so bets were not placed. But should I be in a gambling state and so inclined, then maybe I would have felt good about those 3 bets.
See, the problem is, Billy, I am in a gambling state, and I did place your wager on DraftKings, and I watched that money just float away. So I'm going to have to switch it up a little bit this week.
But did you tell them that Aaron Rodgers got hurt?
Listen, I've been on hold with them for a long time, and they just don't seem to really care.
Billy, tell who, though. I would like people to be able to come on and plead their case, their losses to you, and see if you'll reverse the loss into a win,
Well, I'm
telling you. Field conditions, game plan, injuries. Yeah.
I'm telling you that, in my opinion, those 3 bets didn't count because of what played out in the game, but that's just me. I'm not in charge. By the way, guys, if you want to go to
have to do with a bet?
I'm just saying things played out, and then as a result, things changed, and that's what happened. If you want to go to a game, download the Game Time app, create an account, use code GBF for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Well done by you, Billy. There's a couple of things from last. Well, first off, I have a question for Billy before we get to last night's game. Do you like a Sunday night game, Billy? The Dolphins play Sunday night. It means you got to stay up later. You have to be in early on Monday. Do you like a Sunday night game? I can't stand. I want my game Sunday at 1 or Sunday at 4, and that's it.
I'm a very big Sunday 1 o'clock game person because that's typically the schedule for the Dolphins. And and on the East Coast, like most of the games that we watch are at 1 o'clock. And then by 4 o'clock, things are like winding down. I'm kind of like off of the red zone high, and 8 o'clock on Sunday night, I kind of am like, that's when, I don't mind a 40-0 game like we had last week with the Cowboys and the Giants. And I can kind of just plan out for our Monday show and not really pay like super close attention. Now, because the Dolphins are playing, because of how their offense was last week, because of how Tua did last week, I need to be paying close attention to that game. And I'm not super excited about it. But on the flip side, this now kind of clears up my Sunday. Like I can have the red zone on, but I can have the red zone on my phone. And then maybe I can go to my shed and build a shelf or something. You know what I mean? So I can
like you
TCB,
do.
Yeah, I could TCB on Sunday during the day while I'm watching football instead of having to sit down right there and watching everything that's going on.
I think the answer is I like when there's a good game on Sunday night, but I don't want it to be my team. I never want it to be my team.
Right.
I want my team to play early, but I do like a good Sunday night game, something to look forward to and watch at the end.
Right. I love a good Sunday night game, but where I don't have to sit around and think about it all day. You're right. Like, get my game out of the way and let me enjoy the Sunday night game. And, hopefully someone leaves the back door open.
You know what I learned last week was I really like and value a 1 o'clock game because the Dolphins played at 4 o'clock and it was like the game of the day. Yeah. But at the tail end of that game, because I have like 2 young children, was like, now it's bath time, now it's feeding time, now it's bedtime, now daddy is recording the game to watch it on delay later to make sure that he didn't miss anything important, because I need to make sure that everybody gets to sleep and is fed and bathed and all of that stuff. So I really like the 1 o'clock games. What I'm going to like in, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, the London games are back. The international
9 a.m.
Which, by the way, can I just say this? Bad job by the NFL, because today marks the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month, where every NFL logo is going to have an Enya on top of it. And we're going to do half of this month and half of next month. And there's multiple games in Europe, but 0 games in Latin America. Poor form, NFL.
That really is.
Yeah, that's all. That's my whole rant on that.
That's a terrible job. When do the London games start, though? The Dolphins play in one of those, right? Kansas City, maybe?
They play in Germany this year, not in London. The London games start, I believe, not this week, not next week, but the following week. I think we have back-to-back London games.
Okay. I was just...
By the way, Kirk Cousins, huh? He's good. Is he going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer? Yes, is the answer.
Is he going to be a New York Jet? That's the question.
They're not going to trade Kirk Cousins to the Jets. Why would they do that?
What do you mean? Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah, Billy, that was the talk after the game last night. They're 0-2. Kirk Cousins, they're paying him a lot of money, and the Jets are looking for a quarterback. So.
Okay, yeah, but you're a Jets fan and you want Kirk Cousins. Yeah, but they're in a very winnable division. They have the Packers, which we don't know how long Love is going to be good for. We have the Lions, which okay, but they could easily be a wild card. They'll beat the Bears. They'll get right back on track. I can't believe that this is where you're going with this, that you think that the Vikings are going to trade Kirk Cousins to the Jets just because you want him on the Jets. Let me explain something to you, Jets fans. This is not how it works. It's not just you get whatever quarterback you want from any team because everyone's just waiting around to give you their quarterback. That's not how this works.
It kind of is, though.
It's absolutely not how this works. That doesn't work like that. You're not going to get these quarterbacks that are under contract on other teams. You're not going to get Jameis Winston either, okay? So get the Jameis Winston idea out of your head right now.
I'm with you on Jameis Winston. I told Mikey A they were not getting Jameis Winston. Kirk Cousins is different. They're 0-2. They're paying him a lot of money. The fans are tired of Kirk Cousins. And you're lashing out at me for bringing it up. I didn't bring it up. The broadcast crew last night was bringing it up.
Vikings fans are mad at Kirk Cousins?
Yeah,
they're tired of it, Billy. Most fan bases, yes.
364 yards and 4 touchdowns. Thank your lucky stars that you have Kirk Cousins on your team and that you don't have some crap quarterback. Like, get out of here that you're mad at Kirk Cousins.
Billy, you're lashing out at me and Mike like we're the ones doing it.
And the state of Minnesota, by the way, is who I'm lashing out at. Get out of here.
Thank you. Yes. And I want to talk about your shed where you build things. Like, I had no idea that you did
shelves.
That.
Well, the thing is that I bought the shelves on sale to like organize. It's shelves for the storage shed. But it's a larger project in which I want to like repaint and seal the floor of the shed because it's outside. I already had to patch the roof and patch the side because it's like a metal shed and it had gashes on it. So water was getting in. So like I want to do like a big project, but that entails me removing everything from the shed, like vacuuming and cleaning all of the little speckles of like wood and dirt and gunk off the floor and then repainting it. So this is going to be a big process. I also have a toolbox in my shed, but it's in the box that the toolbox comes in. So I need to open that box to build the toolbox to then put the tools in the toolbox. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And now I've told everyone where my tools are. So now people are just going to come and steal my tools.
Everything is with you. The Eagles, people, you're so great. People were concerned about the Eagles after their visit to.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, the Eagles are fine. Don't worry about the Eagles.
They're just so talented. Like, they didn't even play that well, and they still are that much better because they're
Jalen
just
Hurts,
so talented.
Jalen Hurts did not have like a great game, but he's still great. And by the way, like if your running back gets stopped at the 1 yard, which is what happens all the time, Jalen Hurts is just going to go pound it right in there. Get a rushing touchdown every time. Is he going to get concussed? Nah, who cares? He's just going to run it right in.
There's no way to stop that play, right? Like there is no like you can dive everybody everywhere. There is just no way to stop that play.
The only play that was more unstoppable was the Tom Brady 1 yard quarterback sneak at the goal line. Like that was it, right?
Yeah,
it's unstoppable.
Mike, I think the big difference.
The Vikings dive at the center. I'm like, oh, they stopped it, and there was no, it wasn't even close. You got it.
I think the big difference for the Eagles in this offense. I know they had Miles Sanders last year, and Jalen Hurts really is like a de facto running back. I mean, he plays quarterback, but DeAndre Swift last night was fantastic. Like he was the player of the game, 170 some odd yards. He was unbelievable.
Why did the Lions trade TJ Hawkinson?
He's crazy, that guy. If you showed up, like Billy, if you were out for dinner and showed up and TJ Hawkinson was in your house, you'd be fearful for your life, right?
Wait, so in this scenario, I've left to go out to dinner and I come home and
TJ Hawkinson is roaming around your house. Yeah.
Doing what?
He's in the shed. I mean,
building shelves.
I would love that.
Superior shelves.
TJ, you're free this Sunday. I know that because you played yesterday. Come on by to the house and play and build the shelves for me. I would love that, actually. Let's make that scenario happen so he can build the shelves for me. That's great. Let's do that.
Okay. Where are we going first here, Billy? And do we have a DraftKings game this week for the audience? Because last week, I think both of us placed in the money, you and I. How about that?
Last week was an exciting week because I had up until like Tyreek Hill decided to go off and get like 150 yards in like the last 10 minutes of the game.
You were up there, right? I
was in second or third place. I was looking for a big payday. I slipped down to like 23rd, but I still got $20, which is a nice little thing when the buy-in is $3. If you go to dkng.co/LeBatard, dkng.co/LeBatard, you can sign up to play with us this week. If you like join the LeBatard and Friends group every week, all you have to do is go to that group. And every week we're going to have a contest there. So it's a lot easier than going and looking for it every single week. So sign up now. If you don't have time to do it now, you can reserve your spot now and you have it up until Sunday at 1 o'clock to actually set your roster. So get in before there's no more spots.
Xavier, I want to thank you on behalf of all Jet fans, because on a night where, I'm telling you, man, on a night where I thought it was impossible for me to walk away from that game with any sort of feel good, you gave me feel good. You gave us feel good. You gave us 1-0. So thank you for doing that, sir.
Appreciate y'all, man. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, man. It's
I don't know if you're supposed to have a walk-off in your first game as an undrafted rookie, but, I mean, if that's what you're supposed to do, I can't wait to see what you're going to do against Dallas.
Oh, man. Hey, we're going to wait till we're going to see. Let that be on Monday.
Let's start in the obvious place. Put us kind of inside your head when Aaron Rodgers drops to the turf there, fourth offensive snap of the game. What are you thinking? What's the feeling on the sideline? Like, what's going on as that entire thing goes down?
To me, what I was thinking, I was like, oh, man, that's our main leader. That's a great person, great player, great leader. And for him to go down like that, it was like, well, first prayers, hoping he's okay, knowing that God got a plan for him. But, my energy was like kind of down also, because that's the guy that vouched for me, and but I could feel the energy from the sideline too. It was kind of down, but at halftime, we just noticed our energy was down. We just picked it up.
What did Coach say to you guys at halftime?
Not much. It was all player led. The captain stepped in. It was pretty much just player led.
Which players stepped up? Sorry, Mikey A. I'm sorry. Mikey A. I'm sorry. Which players stepped up and said something? Like, which players in the locker room at halftime stepped up and said, hey, he's gone. He's out. He's not coming back. We got a game to play. We got to go win this thing.
No one said it like that. But, it was just like everybody just got together. We was down at halftime. Everybody was like, man, we got to pick up the energy, man. They go out there and win. It wasn't a specific person. It was just everybody. It was like we all just came together. It's like a family. So.
Have you spoken to Aaron since? Has he said anything to you?
I had seen him earlier. I just spoke to him. He was in good spirit. So. he don't, it's hard to read him a little bit, but he was in good spirit, man, for sure.
It is hard to read him. He's not going down like that though. Like Aaron's coming back, right? You think he's coming back?
Hey man, I don't know too much about it, you know. I really don't, you know. But I just see him smiling like he always does, and that's what it is.
Did you see him at halftime? And if so, did he say anything to you?
Yeah, I seen him at halftime. I talked to him, you know. He didn't show no signs of negativity, you know. He just gave me a smile, looked at me, and the same look he always do when I'm on the field. And I was like, I already know, man. Like in my head, I'm like, man, we gotta win this A-Ride. But in my head, you know, he gave me that look. It's time to lock in, you know. So.
For those who watched Hard Knocks, you became a star during Hard Knocks. But Aaron really, and Randall Cobb, for that matter, really took a liking to you. Like that moment where you're returning a punt and Aaron's on the sideline, he's got the coaching headsets on, and he's slapping you on the helmet. How many times have you watched that, Xavier?
Hey, I watched that a lot, man. Just knowing, I didn't even know I ran into him. I didn't know that was him that was slapping me on my head. But hey, man, when I said, man, it's Aaron, man. But yeah.
What was the better feeling, returning that punt or making the team?
It was, man, both of the feelings amazing. Both of them was in its own way, you know. It was just an unbelievable feeling. It's like I was dreaming.
Right. Go ahead, Mikey.
Do you know how good you were on that punt return? Because I have a stat here that blew my mind. You had a .08 chance of returning that punt for a touchdown when you fielded, according to Next Gen Stats, and you still took it 55 yards.
Hey, man, I got a great team. I got great blockers, man. It just happened.
When did you know you had a chance to end the game right there? Like, when did you say to yourself, hey, I got a chance to score a touchdown here?
Oh, when I got inside the 5-yard line.
Really? It took that
long? When he scored?
Wait, did you notice the alleged trip as you were returning that punt? Did you notice the alleged trip?
The electric?
The alleged trip. There was a tripping penalty. Everyone's, they're upset about it. No one called it. The refs didn't call it. I feel like when your quarterback goes down, 4th play of the season, no flags against the Jets. That's it, you know?
Hey, that would be nah, man. I don't know, man. But I don't know. Chaz made a great block right there, man. He did.
Exactly. There was no trip. Say it, Xavier. There was no trip. Say it.
Hey, it wasn't no trip, man. It wasn't.
I feel like after you lose Aaron Rodgers and you may lose the game, and then who knows the way the season goes, the fact that you were able to kind of save the season is like holdout, maybe? What are we thinking here?
What you say? Can you repeat that one more time?
I feel like
Xavier, he wants you to hold out.
Yeah.
He wants you to hold out right now and get more money for yourself. That's what he's saying. Like, you saved the season. You made the season.
Nah, man, we got a lot more ball games to play, man. We're gonna see how that goes.
Go ahead, Mikey.
I'm trying to think of a bigger roller coaster than coming out Monday Night Football, losing your quarterback, winning a game like that. And now all you got to do is turn around and get ready for one of the best defenses in the league. How do you guys make that turnaround?
Ignore the noise, focus day in, day out, day by day. We know they got a powerful offense, defense, and really just focus on us. I know we got a great defense also, so just focus on us and you're ready, I guess.
You were just in the gym, I was told, and I'm wondering, like, Quentin Williams, what's the most impressive thing you've seen that man do in a gym? He's crazy, that guy.
Man, that's a great person, man. I didn't think he was human when I first met him, but he's a great person. He's a great guy. He took me up under his wing a lot. I feel like they don't get talked about a lot, but he's a great guy for sure.
He seems like a great guy. Are you guys ready to roll behind Zach Wilson here or what?
Most definitely. Let's do it.
Right. You don't want, what's the feeling inside the locker room? Are you ready to roll with Zach? Do you want them to bring in a veteran quarterback? Because you guys were built to win right now,
It's positive vibes, man. I just want to see, I'm ready for Zach to shine too. He had A-Rod come teach him a lot. So, I don't know Zach pass like that, but I'm ready for, I see a great talent I see a great leader in him also. So
Zach Wilson's 1-0 right now. Okay, like don't try to get Xavier in trouble here. He's 1-0.
thank you, man.
Yeah.
You know who's 1-0? Xavier Gibson's 1-0, Billy. That's who's 1-0.
Xavier
And you're
Gipson.
right. He should hold out for more money. I mean,
The Jets want to know. The Jets want to know.
That's right.
listen, I'm so glad you said that because it's rare that we're 1-0. So I am like, I'm super excited. Tell Jared, your media relations guy, not to get mad at me for saying that. Is he behind you laughing right now? He is a great man. Tell him I said hello.
How do you think that goldfish got into Aaron Rodgers' hands?
Hey, I still think about that to this day.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Do you really?
Yeah, man. I don't know how he did it, but it was amazing, man. It was funny to me.
Was Aaron blown away by it, or like, I mean,
I didn't really see his facial expression, but like,
right?
it was just funny, man. I think it was staged. You think it was staged?
I don't know.
Oh, you think Aaron was in on it?
You think it was staged? I believe
wow.
he had the Jets in the Super Bowl as well. He was probably regretting that, the contortionist, 4 plays into the season. Like, Billy, what do you think? It's staged? What do you think?
Well,
Answer
no.
this question.
I'm trying to figure out if you think that Aaron was in on this whole thing and he was trying to kind of just team build. Ooh, I have another question for you. What did you think about that speech about the bald eagles and the crows that was at the beginning of Hard Knocks, the first episode?
I really didn't see that one.
Yeah, so basically your coach was going up and saying that that crows attack bald eagles and then bald eagles basically fly high enough and then the crows suffocate and fall down to their death. And I think he wants you guys to be like bald eagles and not the crows.
Yeah, be at a different altitude, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta stay away from for sure. You gotta be with the people on the same level as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy being on Hard Knocks? Did you guys like it?
I was questioning myself about it at first because I'm really a shy person. Like, I'm not used to all that, but it was a cool experience for sure.
I got to tell you, I don't like the way Robert Saleh and the coaching staff, they kind of made you feel like you weren't going to make the team and then you made the team. Like, I don't like the way they deliver that message. You looked nervous, man. I felt bad for you.
Hey, man, I was nervous. There's no way, man. That feeling was, I don't know. It was like a roller coaster. I think, yeah, that was a roller coaster for sure.
I want you to know when you go out anywhere in New York City for the remainder of this season at least and probably the rest of time, you will never pay for a drink again, my friend, okay?
I mean,
just bring the video of you returning that punt. You'll be fine.
But ask, like, don't just assume you're not paying and leave. Like, make sure that that's the arrangement so that we don't run into any issues.
He's got a college game this week. What college game are you doing this week?
I'm doing Michigan State versus Washington, right?
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to, I'm in the midst of studying the Washington offense right now. Michael Penix Jr., of course, is phenomenal. He's one of the best college quarterbacks in the game. So, I'm enjoying kind of doing that. But it does make my week a little crazy.
Me and Mikey A were laughing before. Is Sunday night, is NBC currently trying to flex out the Jets-Chiefs game on Sunday Night Football in a few weeks?
I don't think we can. I think that's before the flex period. But, we're officially cursed, I guess. We're never going to see Rodgers and Mahomes. I don't know what it is. The football gods don't want to make it happen. And, listen, I know Mikey A's hurt. I'm hurt. I'm still getting over it.
Yeah,
I spent all of Tuesday literally watching film, and my wife would walk by, and I'd be like, "Man," and she'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "I just still can't believe the Rodgers thing." That was that hurt my heart as a football fan, as a guy that knows, you guys know how much I love him throughout his career and how great he is. I got friends on that Jets staff. I got a lot of friends that are Jets fans. It just was such a buzzkill. I really am. I'm still hurt by it.
We'll get into the actual injury in a little bit, but it seems like a lot of players are coming out and blaming the turf. Is that something you think is, participated in the injury, or do you think it's bigger than that?
No. I mean, listen, I can't sit here and tell you definitely he wouldn't have gotten hurt from that play on grass, but I guarantee it would have lessened the chances. Nobody likes to play on turf. Roger Goodell and everybody can spin it all the way they want. And back to the days I was playing, nobody. When they told us we were going to go indoors and play on field turf, the whole team went, like if it was a rainy day of practice or snowy, right? I mean, we'd have guys literally that were, especially the linemen, that would go, we'd rather go outside in the sleet and snow. Let's not practice in there, right? And the NFL, they're talking out of their ass about player safety. The easiest fix is to fix the fucking fields. That's the easiest fix. Let's start there. But they don't want to do that because it's going to cost money. And that's all it is to it. And then, of course, I'm bothered, Jerry Jones, stand for the flag, and Mr. America. He's going to change the field for a bunch of soccer players, not from America, but not for the damn football players, the American football players. And that's annoying, too. Speaking out of both sides of his mouth, the NFL has to do something. I'm still waiting for a player to tell me they like to play on field, like on artificial turf over real grass. David
Bakhtiari has said that turf in particular is dangerous. It's dangerous to play on, which I found pretty fascinating. He said it before the game, by the way. So the NFLPA is saying they want all grass fields. You don't think the owners are going to approve that, do you?
Well, no, because Taylor Swift can have a concert and then they can put that on the field turf and just put something over it, and then they don't have to cut the grass or manage the grass. So it's all about the other events that they're making money off of. And that's the only reason field turf's there. So they can switch it over, concerts, this sport, that sport, whatever, and they don't have to pay money to have a new sod, new grass, groundskeepers, any of that. That's all it's about. And then that's just the simple fact of it. So that's where, it's very annoying. And then, listen, like I have the concussion we saw with Tua in Cincinnati last year. That was more egregious because of the field turf. Those rubber pellets, everything, the shock absorbs back into you, right? Odell Beckham Jr., Super Bowl, field turf. I mean, you can just go through it. It's ridiculous. J.K. Dobbins in Baltimore, torn Achilles tendon, very similar tackle to Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Field turf. Your foot doesn't get out of the ground the same. It's not as forgiving. And, there's a few that don't, that are even worse than the other artificial surfaces. So they got to do something about it, and it's a disservice to the players, and I'm bothered by them and their hypocritical ways.
We'll continue with the Jets in just a second here, but put us inside the Sims household when Texas upsets Alabama over the weekend. What happened?
Oh, man. I mean, first, I'm sitting in my barn. It's Saturday night. I've had a little drink and a little smoke. I'm ready to go.
Wait, you have a barn?
Yeah, and just like with the Rodgers injury, like right away I knew it was Achilles, right? I literally was texting friends. He tore his Achilles. He's done. It's over. Blah, blah, blah.
You knew that the second it happened, right?
I have a gift that way. People who watch games with me will tell you that. When you play football, you watch it your whole life. You know when the way people are supposed to go down or the way it's supposed to look within the normal flow of a tackle. And I saw it as soon as I saw the hard pressure on that back leg. And I went, ooh. And then I saw him lay there and leave that leg limp for a second. And then they cut away. And I said to my son right away, I hope he's okay. I think he hurt his leg. And then he got up. And then he sat down. And if it was just if it was I sprained an ankle, you'd have been grimacing and he would have hopped off the field. Right. He literally sat down and was like, the year's over. I can't believe this.
Right.
So
back inside the barn, though, you're high, you're drunk, you're watching Texas beat Alabama. What happened?
And within 5 plays, I was like, we belong. We're as good as them. I was like, we look the part, and they don't look bigger than us, and we look just as fast as them. And then, of course, we scored and got some mojo going, and I was texting friends, everybody, we back, baby. We back. We here. And it was exciting. It really was. I had a great night watching it.
How did Colt McCoy respond?
I didn't
Major
text him.
Applewhite.
I should have texted them. You're right. I should have texted Colt for sure.
Sims, this is one of the few times I've seen an ear-to-ear smile when I bring up Texas. This is one of the right, Mikey A. This is one of the few times. Big smile on your face, man.
Well, I love the football team. Now, I'm always rooting for them. The fans, sometimes they were a little screwed up to me at times. They were, but man, it was so great to see just, us rise up again and be we're here to be a power, a force. And we looked at and I love the Longhorns. I mean, of course I do. And it's the first time in a while. And I was disappointed in them because we have all these resources. We're in Texas. we're one of the richest schools in the whole country, and we've been irrelevant for the last, 8, 9 years, 10 years, more than that. So that's where it's just good to be back on the scene that way, and I am really excited for him.
You send Sark a text? How does that work with you?
No, that's what I'm not really that plugged into the program that way. Right. I'm really not, and I don't know a whole lot of people down there anymore in that way to send texts or do any of that.
Arch is going to enter the portal, Chris. I'm telling you, if this Quinn Ewers keeps doing things, Arch Manning's going to leave your school.
Well. The most important thing is, I guess we're still in the funeral. That
Alabama's funeral.
Yeah, he's headed towards
Quinn
Alabama.
Ewers, the way it's going right now, Billy, is Quinn Ewers. He continues to play like that. He's going to be in the NFL. He's going to come out in the draft, right? And then it's going to be about he's got to beat the other kid that's a freshman there with him that people have been raving about a little bit as well. So really, in Arch Manning's perfect world, you sit there, you root for Quinn Ewers, tear it up. Let's go Texas. So I can get better players and recruits here for when I'm about to be the quarterback, and you can get your ass out of here and go to the NFL so I can play. That would be his perfect world.
Chris Sims is with us here on God Bless Football. I have a Zach Wilson theory that I'd like to share with you. Billy is shaking his head. That's so great. I mean, Billy, that's how you're talking. He's mocking you, and you deserve it.
What do you want me to do? Start screaming? I don't understand.
It's hard to explain how you sound, but you do sound like you're at a funeral. Like Chris is right.
You sound like they're doing a live show next to you, and you're trying not to be on their microphone.
Okay,
yeah, that's what it sounds
like.
So
is it like a volume thing? Is it because the volume is low? Like, how do I sound now? I feel like I'm talking normal.
A little better.
You're getting better. It did get louder. Maybe they didn't. Maybe you need to really put that mic up by your lips. Maybe you just really got to get in there.
Breaking his balls. I love it. Billy will have the last laugh here in a minute.
I'm sure.
He always does. I have a Zach Wilson theory for you, okay, that I want to float by you in just a second. But first, difficult spot. Like, Chris, it's amazing I walked away with any sort of feel-good from that game. And the Jets provided that. Xavier Gipson provided that for me. The Jets got a victory. But your evaluation of Zach Wilson, put in a tough position, tough spot, not a lot of expectations. I'll get to my theory in a second. But how did he play in that game?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I mean, first off,
good enough.
Probably should have. He probably shit his pants. I mean, he was the last guy on the team that thought he was going to be playing on Monday night.
Right.
I mean, he probably was like, man, I'm not going to be in a game till week 10, maybe if we're up 30-0 in the fourth quarter. Right. So I've been in those moments. It's shocking. And it showed on his face early on, to go in like he hasn't had a lot of practice the last few weeks. It's all been about Aaron Rodgers, the first team offense. Let's get ready for the regular season. So that is not easy. And then, you're seeing a Buffalo defense it's Sean McDermott's defense. He's got a few new wrinkles that you probably haven't prepared for. So that wasn't easy. I mean, as you saw with Aaron Rodgers, pass protection was not great early on in the football game. But the big thing is I think he made his best plays in the biggest moments. I think that was the biggest thing. Whether it was third downs, got to score a touchdown. I know it wasn't a perfect throw. It wasn't a horrible throw. And it was a phenomenal catch. But, it was all good. And hopefully, you saw that O-line can move some people in the run game, and hopefully they can improve in the pass game to where it can let Garrett Wilson and company get open downfield, and they can become dangerous there.
All right, here's the theory, because the best case scenario for Zach Wilson, there's only upside here, Chris. The best case scenario is he comes in, he saves the Jets season. That team is clearly good enough defensively. They have two good running backs. The offensive line was good in the run game. They have wide receivers. That's a talented football team. So there's only upside.
The Bills. That.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And we'll get to Josh Allen in just a second, because that was the second biggest story of that night. But there's only upside here for Zach Wilson. There is no downside. This is what it's like to have zero expectations. So now he is put in a position, unlike the last couple of years where he was the savior, now he can actually save the season. If he does, he will be a hero forever in New York City. And if he doesn't, he just goes back to being Zach Wilson. What do you think?
Well, you're right. It is a good situation. There was nothing on him in the offseason. He got to sit back, take a deep breath. He got to see how Rodgers approaches things. He's got an experienced offensive coordinator, which he didn't have before this. The team is better. This offensive coordinator will know how to formulate a game plan around him better than anybody he's had before. So, yeah, those are all positives. And like he told me before the Hall of Fame game, he said to me flat out, he's like, I had so much on my mind and on my plate. He's like, it's like I forgot how to throw last year. He's like, I was thinking so much that I forgot like the most basic things in the world. And he's like, I feel like a different person. He said that, and we saw that throughout preseason. So we'll see if he can continue that over. We know he's got talent. It's just about playing consistent, making the right reads, doing all that. And yeah, in a lot of ways, it was the perfect offseason for Zach Wilson. The weird thing is he does really, Rodgers, that injury, tough to come back from. I have a hard time thinking he's going to want to go out on that note.
Agreed.
And that being the lasting image. Also, he deferred all that money to next year. Is he just going to walk away and retire from like a $50 million plus paycheck? That's another wrinkle to this. But yeah, at least Zach is in a spot here to succeed, better than he was the last 2 years. And, this week will be tough, of course, as we know, because Dallas's defense is like the Jets defense. It's got psycho awesome players all over the field.
Yeah, the theory seems good now, but get back to me at halftime of the Cowboys game, okay? I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, let's say they're going to have to run the ball for sure. That's going to be a big part of this game. They got to run the ball at Dallas because everybody's going to have a hard time protecting Dallas. Dallas's pass rush is, I don't care who it is, they're going to be around the quarterback.
So if you're running the Jets, Chris, what do you do? Do you ride out the season here with Zach Wilson? Do you go sign a veteran quarterback? Do you sign Matt Ryan? And if you do, who's the guy that you sign? Who's the guy you go after?
Yeah, no, I think, there's nobody out there Zach Wilson's your guy. But I would want to have a veteran guy, for break glass in case something happens, in case emergency, right? And whether that's is a Colt McCoy, I don't know where his health status is right now, Trevor Siemian type guy. Matt Ryan, I don't imagine that really happening. I don't. Nick Foles, he's out there too. I know that's another one. It's the same kind of thing. I don't think so. I think Hackett's going to try to look for a guy that's been in the West Coast offense, that there's not a big learning curve with, and then, try to go from there. And that's why I say Colt McCoy or Trevor Siemian, because they've been in those offenses before. And then unless there's maybe a third quarterback on somebody's roster that they try to make a deal for that they feel, what's our guy in Pittsburgh, that started there, Mason Rudolph. Maybe would they trade him for something significant, something along that idea or those lines like that?
Mikey A wants Jameis Winston. What do you think?
Well, why? With the Saints, what are they going to do? They don't want to. They're going to go and then what? Go, now we have to play Taysom Hill and play a different offense? And we can't even really run
that. Derek Carr.
Right.
They got Derek Carr.
Right.
Well, I know, but if he gets hurt, they're not going to let the whole season go down the drain with
Chris.
If that happens, now we have to change the team and change the way we play.
I don't
envision that happening. So, it's a good thought, Mikey A. But if I'm the Saints, I don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
I was telling Mikey A that the backup quarterback has become so valuable because of the injuries to the starting quarterbacks, and the Saints have one of the best ones in the NFL.
The Saints have a really good one, right? And they got a good team and a good offense and good receivers. And, yeah, I would think that, hey, listen, if Derek Carr did go down, you're going to feel pretty good and going, man, Jameis Winston's here, and he can make plays and throw the ball down the field and do some of that. So we're still in this thing. And I think that's why they will not entertain any trade offers for him.
Chris, what is going on with Josh Allen? It's crazy. This is a guy 2 years ago was in that conversation with Burrow, and we'll get to Burrow in a second as well. Patrick Mahomes, He was a top-tier guy. What is going on with Josh Allen?
Well, he's still awesome. But, the first thing is, what did the Bills do to improve their team this offseason? We've talked about their O-line not being that great and not run the ball. They didn't do anything. They did nothing. We talk about what? For the last 2 years, you've heard me tell you that their weapons are not all that good. It's Stephon Diggs and then, and they got Dalton Kincaid in the draft. Okay, he's a rookie. He's not going to take off and, take over the world here. On defense, they got Leonard Floyd, right? That's it. It's the only thing they got in the offseason.
Yep.
So, like you said a minute ago, it's a good roster, but it's arguably the fourth best roster in the AFC East. It's definitely the third best.
Crazy.
But, it's not as good a roster on defense as the Patriots. The Patriots D is real, right? I mean, the Patriots O-line, when healthy, I'd take them. I'd take the Patriots running backs, right? I mean, so that's where it's been way too much on one guy. And this is why I didn't pick them to go to the playoffs this year. You know, I told you guys that last week, just because, I don't see enough there as compared to the elite AFC teams. And then, with Josh Allen, I think he's feeling that burden, right? I mean, that was as bad as I've ever seen Josh Allen. And the fact that not knowing the big scope of the game. The first interception you can deal with, right? It's a de facto punt. But even on that, I'd go, it's 3rd and 8, and he could have ran for the first down. He was going to meet one guy about a yard or two short of the first down, and if he got by him, it was going to be a first down. So I didn't love that. The second interception, I believe it's 13-6 at the time, I believe. They're in field goal territory. Look, why are you throwing a ball down the middle of the field into double coverage? Like, this is a field goal game. It's why jumpstart Zach Wilson and an offense that's doubting itself right now. And then the third interception, it's 3rd and 2, and tries to fit the ball into a tight window on the sideline. He's got some people underneath open for the first down. It just, he lost sight of the game. I don't know if he got frustrated that they weren't doing better and moving the ball, and he thought maybe they should be blowing the Jets out with Aaron Rodgers or whatever. But, that was disappointing that he just didn't have a better sense of what was actually going on there, and he just played it way too loose.
The Unbuttoned Podcast, Football Night in America, Sunday Night Football, and college football. He's calling Wisconsin and Washington this weekend. It is Chris Sims with us. Hopefully Billy can get in here. Your dad, the smarter Sims, I should say, chose Tua as his NFL MVP. Okay. Do the Dolphins have the best offense in the NFL, Chris?
It's them or the 49ers.
Damn.
That would be what I would say. But it's the most fun. It's the fastest offense in the NFL. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun to watch. And McDaniel, to me, is only second in creativity to Kyle Shanahan. He's the first one off the Shanahan coaching tree where I go, oh, he really gets what Shanahan was doing. And, he knows how to be creative on his own. It's not just like, I learned this from Shanahan, and now I'm going to try to do it all the time. He's got his own wrinkles and ideas. And that's where I look at that. I was blown away watching not only in live, like on TV, but blown away watching it on film. I mean, their pre-snap movement, shifting, fast motions,
crazy.
Set hut, and then a whole bunch of other people go a bunch of different ways, and then they go that way. I mean, they got it all. They really do.
It is time for this week's edition of Stu-Ya Gotz, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use code STU for a special offer when you sign up. That's code STU only at DraftKings Sportsbook. College football week 3. I was 5-3 a week ago. I'm 11-9 on the season. I'm Blaine Gabbert. Not terrible. Let's get to the games this week. I got a bunch of them. Oh, do I like the college slate? It's a bad college slate, but I like the gambling slate. I do, and that's all that matters. Maryland is taking on Virginia. Maryland is minus 14.5. I want you to buy it down a half point. Just in case Maryland wins by 14, you get a push. All right? I love doing that. Maryland, minus 14. They beat Virginia by 20 points. We go to Air Force and Utah State. We love the armed forces around here. Air Force is minus 9. They are taking on Utah State. There is no way Utah State is walking into the Air Force Academy and beating that school by more, or beating that school, period. Air Force wins the game. They blow them out. They win by 17 points. We go to Liberty. They're taking on Buffalo. Liberty minus 3.5. Sneaky good team. Buy it down a half point to minus 3. Liberty wins by 10 points. North Carolina, Mac Brown and them boys, minus 7.5, taking on Minnesota. North Carolina, close call last week. But who doesn't have a close call against Appalachian State? Why do teams keep booking Appalachian State? They are dangerous. North Carolina did it. They survived. And because they survived, they get a gift this week. They get Minnesota. Buy it down a half point to minus 7. North Carolina wins by 14 points.
Stugotz, I have a question for you. Don't you typically buy down half points to get to halves so that you can't have a push? You're buying everything down to potentially set yourself up for like a slate full of pushes.
Well, with North Carolina, yes, I am buying down. I'll take the push over a loss, of course. North Carolina, I'm buying down from 7.5 to 7 in the event that the Tar Heels win by 7 points. Yes, I'll take a push. It's worth the money to me.
All right. Anyways, back on track. Sorry about that.
If I lose, I'll plead my case to you afterwards, okay?
Yeah.
As the guy decides all bets here. Rutgers, Billy, you're going to love this one. Rutgers minus 6.5, taking on Virginia Tech, buy it down a half point. Rutgers minus 6 at home against Virginia Tech. But this is the one you're really going to love. I'm taking FIU.
Oh, okay.
I am. FIU is hot. They are plus 8. They're taking on UConn. UConn's not very good. Billy loves FIU. Pause up. FIU plus 8. Going to win the game outright. How about that, Billy?
All right. I'm in on this.
Are you taking it?
Sure, but hurry up. We got to get it.
You're part of the broadcast team. I don't think you should do that. It's conflict of interest.
I'm not doing this game, so we're good.
Oh, you're good. Michigan State, they're at home. They're taking on Washington. They are plus 16. Sparty doesn't win the game, but they do cover the spread. Washington wins by 10 points. Michigan State with the cover. Tennessee minus 6.5. They're taking on the Gators. It's at Florida. Buy it down a half point. I don't think Florida's very good. I think Tennessee's pretty good. Tennessee wins by 10 points at UF. Oklahoma State minus 7. Taking on South Alabama.
Are you doing?
What?
How many games are you doing?
I only got 5 more. I'm feeling good. I'm almost done. I have to get to the NFL. What do you mean? Why? Is this taking too long?
Just go.
Oklahoma State minus 7, taking on South Alabama. Buy it down a half point. My gun to you, them boys. They win by 8 points. That's why you got to buy the half down, Billy. It's important. Made no sense. It's minus 7 anyway. Yeah. BYU plus 8.5. They're at Arkansas. Arkansas, I have no idea if they're any good. BYU, no idea if they're any good. When two teams play each other, and I don't know if either of them are good, I take the underdog. That's what I do. So I have BYU plus 8.5. Arkansas wins by a field goal. Houston plus 7.5. They're taking on TCU. I have the Cougars winning the game outright. TCU not as good this year as they were last year. Houston wins the game. They win it outright. They cover the spread, plus 7.5. We go to the NFL, week 2, 3-5 last week. I only have 6 games this week. Packers minus 1 at the Falcons. Packers win. They cover the spread. Packers by 4. Lions minus 5.5, taking on the Seahawks. I love the Lions. I don't like the Seahawks. Geno Smith, one-year wonder. The Lions, they win by 10 points. Chargers minus 3 at the Titans. Chargers bounce back. The Titans are terrible. They are awful. Tannehill is dreadful. Chargers by 10 points on the road against the Tennessee Titans. The Dolphins, Sunday Night Football, minus 3 at the Patriots. Buy it down a half point, Billy, to 2.5. Why? Because the Dolphins are going to win by a field goal. How about that? Close game. Dolphins win. They move to 2-0. Saints minus 3 at Carolina. Buy it down a half point. Saints going to win that game. They'll win it by 7 points, but cover yourself in the event that they win by 3. But the Saints will win that game. Carolina, not a very good football team. Our boy Frank Reich, hopefully he makes it through the season. And last game here on Stu-Ya Gotz, Cleveland, minus 2 at the Steelers. The Browns win. They cover. The Browns are a good football team. Great defense. The Browns win by 4 points at Pittsburgh. Those are the picks, everyone. Good luck.
So, guys, what game are you most excited about this week?
The Jet game.
Really? Why?
I truly want to see if Zach Wilson, having spent so much time around Aaron Rodgers, has gotten any better. This is a very difficult test going to Dallas against that defense on the road, but I'm excited to see what they can do. I am. What he could do.
I was excited about Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Mikey A is not excited about that one. He told me that I'm a fool for liking that game. And that I should be excited about Jacksonville, Kansas City. Yeah, I think it was a quote.
Those
You're
are my
a fool.
exact words.
Well, Jacksonville, Kansas City is a great game. I have a hard time seeing the Chiefs starting this season 0-2, but Billy's right. Baltimore, Cincinnati that's a great game.
There's potential there. You know what I mean?
It's Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Of course, there's potential.
Yeah, but Joe Burrow, now we're going to find out. Did he just settle after he signed that big deal? You know what I mean? Was it all a ruse? He gets his big contract and now he's not going to try anymore.
Imagine
Many people are
Cincinnati
saying that's what
and
he's
Kansas
doing.
City are both 0-2.
Wow.
Wait,
Wow.
I want to know who
then the Jets would probably go after Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow because the fan bases would be tired of them by your logic.
Billy, I mean, Patrick Mahomes has won a couple of Super Bowls. Burrow has changed the fortunes of the organization. Kirk Cousins, they just keep finishing 9-7. Like,
Good enough, you know.
for what?
To be Kirk Cousins. Look, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Do you not think so?
Based on numbers, he probably should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But based on winning, he should never be in the Hall of Fame. I mean,
ouch.
Billy, he can't win primetime games. I mean,
Yeah.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. The stats were very good last night. He played very, very well.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. But they were down 24-7.
No, God bless football.
God bless football, Mikey.
God bless football.